Yo, RX back with another recap of UFC Vegas 98 Royval versus Taira. We back with another recap of a card that was, you know, I'm not even trying to be funny when I say this, actually good. I'm not even shitting you. This card was actually good. Not on the, like, accidentally. Clearly it's the UFC. They don't on purpose book good cards anymore. Look at that 310 garbage. But yeah, this card was accidentally good. I guess that's the best way I could describe it. Accidentally good. Yeah. That's just how you describe a UFC card at this point, if it's good, and I think that was the best way to describe this card. So yeah, really, so long and short of that, it was a fun card. 12 fights, only 2 were bad. When we get to those, we'll get to those. But overall, like, I enjoyed it. For 7 hours of fights from 4 o'clock to 10 o'clock, I'm happy. I'm happy I watched it. For once, I'm not leaving feeling like I wasted my time, and I'm recapping a card I actually enjoyed. So, I'm happy. I'm trying to think if there's anything else to add besides that. Not that I could think of. Card was fun, man. Card was fun. Yeah, and I know I'm talking about an Apex card being fun, but it was. So, about really all I can say. Outside of that, yeah, I think there's not very much else I can add outside getting into the recap, so unless I'm forgetting to say something, which I don't believe I am. Before I get into the recap, please like, comment, subscribe. 100 subs goal by the end of 2024. We only got 8 cards left after this. 100 would be cool. If not, shit happens. I'm happy no matter what. Besides that, you ready to recap some fights? I know I am. I'm not forgetting anything from what I can think of. So let's just recap some fights. You ready? I'm ready. Let's go. Again, we had 12 fights in total. Yes, I know I broke down 13. We did lose 1 on weigh-in day. That was Josh Fremd versus Abdulrazak Al-Hassan. Obviously, Fremd missed weight because he's a fucking bum. I think he weighed in 188 or some bullshit. 189, Jesus, so 4 pounds over the limit. You know, I don't blame Abdul for not taking this, for like just saying, nah, I'm good. So, like, he would have knocked him. He probably would have knocked him out, but then he could have the risk of getting beat, so yeah, I'm not mad at it. Hopefully Abdul gets another fight in before the end of the year, since he's kind of been fucked over this year. And Josh Fremd, you're a bitch. So yeah, outside of that, we still had 12 fights, and 10 of them were good. So let's get into those, as we will begin in the flyweight division, the same weight class we'll end with later. But we begin with a fight that was very good as expected, and between 2 very good young fighters, as in our opening fight of the night. In the flyweight division, we had Clayton Carpenter versus Lucas Rocha. Good fight. Like I said, as predicted. I think we all, if you knew these two, you knew this was gonna be a good fight, and it was. Really ended up a fucking amazing way to begin the night. In round 1, Carpenter kind of dominated. Like, the few minutes they started striking, like, I guess Rocha landed a few nice shots, but Carpenter didn't look lost on the feet. But then when he got that takedown, it became a different story. He dominated Rocha for, like, I think it was three and a half minutes on the ground. Cut him open really badly above his left eye. Just dominated him, close to a 10-8 round. I don't think it was a 10-8, but it was close. And overall, just domination round 1. Round 2, they come out again, pretty much the same as round 1. They strike a little bit, eventually Clayton gets the fight down, and this time Rocha doesn't survive. Eventually, about almost 2.5 minutes into the round, Rocha gave up his back, which was not a good idea, and eventually Clayton was able to lock in the hooks, and then get the rear naked choke with 2:12 on the clock. Rocha went out cold. He didn't tap, so I guess respect or stupid, that's for you to decide. Either way, Clayton got another rear naked choke victory, and his second win in the UFC, beating a very good Lucas Rocha in round 2. Very good performance by Clayton, and like, I'll give Rocha his flowers, he is good, and I'll talk about him more in a second, but amazing performance by Clayton Carpenter. He looked good. Dominated pretty much most of the fight. Rocha had a few moments on the feet, but overall, it was Carpenter just took over. And on the ground, it wasn't even competitive. So, yeah, really great performance by by Carpenter to begin the night, and that's what we wanted to see from him. Since that's what we've been waiting to see from him since his debut. So, yeah, great stuff by Carpenter. And like I said, a really good fight to be in tonight. So, can't really fucking get much better than a little bit of blood and a nice rear naked choke. I'm not upset. Besides that, unless I'm forgetting to say something about the fight, which I don't think I am, not very much else to add about a fucking 8.5 minute fight. Let's get into the fighters now. And of course, we will begin with Clayton. As I've said, this is what we've been wanting to see from him since his debut. Like, he took a 1.5 years off. He looked good in his debut. He looked better here against a better fighter. His striking is getting better. It's not amazing yet. His striking is still not knock your socks off. He's not going to drop people, but he can strike. But his bread and butter is that ground game, and he's just a fucking tank on the ground. That's why he has now 4 submissions. Like I said, he mauled Rocha on the ground, so we know where his fucking strength is, but he can also strike, so he's a really good, well-rounded fighter who's just getting better. This is only his 8th fight, I believe. Yeah, this was his 8th career fight at 28 years old. Dude's just getting better, and if he can stay active, he's going to be a real problem for this division. That well-roundedness, and I'm guessing decent cardio. He looked fine halfway, like, close to the halfway point of round 2, so if he has good cardio, and he stays active, he can easily be a top 15 dude. I think he has all the skill set. The division's getting kind of shallow at that bottom area. It's shallow and not at the same time, but with Clayton's skill set, I think he can get in the top 15. So let's see if he can stay active. If he can get a fight, if he can get back in there around by the latest March, February next year, that'd be ideal. So, let's see this dude fight more consistently. Let's see this dude get higher steps up in competition. Let's see how far this dude can really go. 28 years old, 8-0, dominating a good fighter like Rocha. Great fucking second performance. And talk about Rocha. There's not really much else to say. My bad, there's not really much to say. He got a really tough debut here. Getting fucking Clayton Carpenter as your debut is never going to be easy. But he didn't look terrible. He looked fine on the feet. His ground game is very weak, but, you know, he can fix that up. He does have 4 submissions, but clearly he was the lesser grappler here by a mile, so he just needs to get better. He's not old, he's only 20, he's even younger than Clayton at only 24, and to be 24 years old with 17-2 records, impressive. So, he needs to just pick himself up, wipe the dirt off his knees, and fucking get back to work. Hopefully we see him again sooner than later also, because dude came into this fight on a fucking 6-fight winning streak, so if he can stay active and get better, I think Rocha could be decent too. Like, he has potential, good striking, got some power in his hands. He's really good at timing knees. He almost got Clayton with one a few times. So if he can just get better from this at 24 years old, I think we could see a much better Rocha in the near future. So against a lesser opponent, let's see how he does in the next fight out. Hopefully sooner than later. Besides that, I can't really think of anything else to add about this fight besides who should they fight next. The third part of the RX recaps, the fight, the fighters, and the fight idea. I wonder when my recaps are 2 hours long. For Clayton, I don't think you give him a big fight yet. I swear I saw someone say he should fight the loser of Madarji. Charles Johnson next week. I think that's a bit of a reach. Like, one more fight before he starts getting into that caliber of fighters. Like, Ode Osborne would be a fine one if they keep Ode around, but at the same time, poor Ode. Daniel Barres would be a fine fight. He easily would win that fight. If they keep CJ around, that'd be fine. Jesus Aguilar is always an option. Jimmy Flick would be an interesting fight. Like, I don't hate the Jimmy Flick fight. And I think we're getting too high at this point, so I don't mind that Jimmy Flick fight. Flick coming off a loss, but we know Flick has a really good ground game. We know Carpenter has a really good ground game. I think that could be fun. And like I said, it's either that, Aguilar, or Barres. So, and Barres is coming off a fucking loss. I don't care what anyone says, and he sucks anyway. Aguilar, 3 in a row, he could probably get a better, well, it's 1 in a row because that was a robbery, but still he probably fights someone a little higher echelon. So yeah, I like Jimmy Flick fight. I think that'd be a good fight. Clayton fighting his first like heavy grappler, I think that would be a good fight for Clayton. I think a fight that he would easily win, so I like it. Clayton Carpenter and Jimmy Flick. Let's do it. And then for Lucas Rocha, just heal up and bounce back. Get a lower level guy like fucking who's shitty on the roster? Felipe Boonies or goddamn Kevin Borjas. Just beat one of those guys up real quick, get back on track, and come back better. So it's that simple. Get better and heal up, and then get better. Get a nice easy win under your belt against a can in the division, and yeah, simple. Not very much else I can add to this fight. Very good fight to begin the night. Very good fight between two very good fighters, and that's the only thing left to say is who should they fight next. I like Clayton Carpenter versus Jimmy Flick, and Rocha should just get a nice layup fight like a Kevin Borjas. So, can't really think of much else to say here. Great performance by Carpenter, and I think him and Jimmy Flick would be a very good, interesting fight to see Carpenter's development. So, let's get that fight booked. Can't really think of much else to say. Great performance by Carpenter, and a great fight between two young guys. Let's see how far these two can go. After that, we had to our second fight of the night in the bantamweight division. A very good fight, one of the best fights of the night, maybe I would say the third best fight of the night. As in our second fight of the night in the bantamweight division, we had a fun banger between Cody Haddon versus Dan Argueta. I'll start off by saying I'm a fucking moron who changed my pick from decision, which would have been perfect, to a second round knockout, because this dickhead missed weight, and I was like, oh, you know, Cody might be able to clip him. He clipped him many times. It didn't work. The long story of this fight was, and I'll show both scorecards since they're exactly the same. That's the Clayton Carpenter one. Yeah, it's super. Haddon just destroyed him, to be honest. 30-27 across the board. If the long story short of this fight, he just pieced him up for 15 minutes. The most Argueta can do is a takedown that he couldn't keep him down. Like, he would take him down. It was like a shittier Marab, where he takes you down, and he just lets you up pretty much. He can't keep you down. So, and as the more he tried to do that, the more he gassed out. And Haddon did gas as well, but Haddon was a striker, and he just picked Argueta apart for 15 minutes. Like, that's pretty much all I can say. Like, it was not competitive. Like, no rounds were really close. I think it was a clear 30-27 Haddon. Like, I'm trying to remember what round could I even call semi-close. Argueta was pretty much just a fucking heavy bag for 15 minutes, so yeah, it was not a very competitive fight, and it shouldn't have been. I think Haddon was the second best option for the lock of the night, and he looked it. So, he should have got a finish if Argueta was not made out of goddamn metal. But outside of that, Haddon looked flawless. Like, his cardio, he gassed out, but that's going to happen against Dan Argueta. So, I think if he, I I think in the next fight he probably won't gas out so quickly because he's not fighting Argueta, who's just gonna drain on you very quickly. So yeah, not really much else I can add. It was pretty much just a masterclass by Haddon, a gassed Haddon for most of the fight. So yeah, can't really say much else. Not happy about changing my pick for no reason, but it's me. Second time I've done that. I did have Asman Lucindo last week. I did have Cody Haddon this week. I would have been right with both. Well, that's the annoying part. Perfectly right if I didn't change it, but you know, I'm a fucking idiot. And I guess the only thing that matters is getting the fighter right, so I'll take that. Still not happy about it. Besides that, not really much I'll say about a one-sided beatdown, so shall we get into the fighters? Let's do it. I'll go with Haddon first. You can go for either one, but I guess Haddon I'll start with since he looked great. Like, the first fighter from the season's Contender Series, and he looked fucking amazing. Standout performance for 15 minutes against a good veteran like Dan Argueta. Can't really get much better than that. Like, he looked good on Contender Series 2 months ago, and he looked even better here, outside not getting a finish, and fuck, again, I just can't finish Dan Argueta, so, with striking at least, so, yeah, this kid's good. This kid's good. He's only 26, I think? Yeah. 26 years old, 9th fight in his career. He's good. He's really good. He's a really good prospect in this division. I really could not see any problems in his game, again, outside the cardio, but I barely call that a fucking problem because he fought Dan Argueta. So when he fights someone who doesn't wear on your gas tank so much, I don't think he's going to gas so quickly. Outside that, striking, very good. Grappling, we've seen that's very good. Like, power is good. His fucking fight, his fight IQ is a little iffy. He did take down Dan late, in the beginning of the third for no reason. But I guess that was just exhaustion. There we go. More than anything, so yeah. Can't really say much else. Beautiful performance by Haddon against a tough veteran like Argueta, and this kid's good. This kid's fucking good, man. First fighter from this year's Contender Series, starting it off right for that group of fighters. Let's see if others follow suit. To talk about Dan Argueta, what do I say? First of all, I'll start. I hope he doesn't get cut. Give him one more fight. Like, I get it. This looks terrible, but let's be honest. He got robbed here. This was not his fault. He was on roids, and you gave him two great prospects back to back. The only thing you can blame on him is the weight miss. I did not like that, but it's his first time missing weight. Don't do it again. I would like to see him get one more fight. I think Dan's a good fighter. I think he's durable as fuck. Again, I'm not shocked he's never been KO'd, because that dude's chin is made out of fucking metal. But outside of that, give him another fight. He's a decent fighter. He's a good veteran, and veteran. If he fights a more debuting guy, he's a veteran. I think he can beat a lot of the bantamweights. You gave him two of the best fucking prospects possible, so he only can look so good. And he's also just been unlucky as fuck. So, point proven. But do I think they're gonna keep him? Probably not. I think the weight miss puts a nail in the coffin. Like, if he didn't miss weight, I'd think, yeah, okay, maybe you can get another UFC fight. But the weight miss, and now in his last 5 being 1, 2, and 2, on paper, even though it should be 2, 2, and 1. I think he's probably gonna get cut, which sucks. But I'll give him one more fight. I think he's good enough to get one more fight, and not against a tough prospect. Give him a more like experienced veteran who I'll look, but no more fucking prospects. Let the dude fucking get a little bit easier of a fight. Like in a fucking Orichi laying off the top of my head would be a good one, but outside of that, I don't know. Really, he's tough. I'll give him that. He's made out of goddamn metal. Besides that, you might have fucked yourself with the weight miss. About all I can say. Only thing left to say now is who should they fight next? For Cody, Haddon. I don't know if I'll even find a fight idea for him, because finding a fight idea for the for a guy after his debut is never easy, but maybe I'll be able to find one. Obviously, you don't throw him in there with some great fighter right off rip, like a top dude, because that'd be silly. But I think someone like Count Longrain would be fine. I think that's a very fine fight there. Christian Quinones would be decent. Someone like that would be fine. Hell, him against Horichi Lang would work also. But like someone along those lines. I saw something like Cameron Simon. Like, why do that to Simon? You don't need to fucking kill the guy. So, but yeah, I don't mind Horichi Lang. I think that'd be Horichi Lang or Callan. But I'd probably go Horichi Lang unless there's someone better on the second page. But at this point, I think again to guys who are a little bit like, unless Kung Ho Kang, but he's fucking ass. So yeah, I'd say Horichi Lang would be a good fight. Another dude Haddon should be able to just style on, and yeah, sounds like a good fight, so I'm down to see it. And for fucking Dan Argueta, if they do keep him, which I'd be shocked, give him someone like Vince Morales, Christian Quinones. He could fight Callan. He probably beats him. Like, give him some low-level can like that he has a chance against. Don't give him the toughest prospect you can goddamn find. So, yeah. But most likely he's gonna get cut, which sucks for him, but it happens. He's unlucky, but it happens. Besides that, can't really think of anything else to say. Great performance by Cody Haddon. Just a masterclass for 15 minutes. A striking masterclass. And besides that, who should they fight next? I like Cody Haddon versus Horichi Lang and Argueta. Hopefully, sorry about that. Hopefully he doesn't get cut, but if he does, gotta make weight. I think Haddon Horichi Lang makes. I think it makes sense. Haddon against a more experienced dude, another striker that he should be able to beat up pretty easily. I think it'd be a good fight for him. So he probably looks better against Horichi Lang than fucking Raul Rosas did. So yeah, but he's already better than Raul. So he's more ready for the top 15 than he is. But besides the point, good win for Haddon. And let's see how far this kid can go. Dan, bad luck, brother. Great win for Haddon in his debut. After that, we had to our third fight of the night in the women's straw. Well, no shit, no women's. The straw weight division. As we had a fight that was okay. Nothing great about it, but it wasn't a bad fight at all. And then our third fight of the night, we have Julia Polastri versus Cory McKenna. Yeah, this fight kind of went as expected, I think, by most people, at least, if not just me. So, yeah, long story short, Polastri just beat, the best way I could describe this fight is Polastri just bullied her for 15 minutes. She dominated her in the first 2 rounds, and that clinch work, pushing her up against the cage, it just bullied her. It looked like a fucking bullying, almost. And then round 3, it was close. You could go either way. I will lean Polastri. Let me pull that up real quick. No, I don't have a tab for every scorecard. That'd be fucking insane. But like, I lean Polastri, but I'm fine with leaning towards McKenna. She did get a takedown with like 2 minutes left, but she didn't do much with it. Either way, it doesn't matter. Polastri clearly won, unless you're Sadamoto, aka a fucking moron. Trust me, you'll hear that name again on this card a few times. But yeah, clear win for Polastri. Bare minimum, took the first 2 rounds. Easily could took the third. Either way, good win. Good first win, even though it really should be her second win. But again, besides the point. Yeah, not very much else I can add. It was kind of just a bullying for the first 2 rounds, and then round 3 was round 3, Cory was really desperate. Polastri was kind of just chilling. It was whatever. So, yeah. Besides that, can't really think of anything else to say about the fight. So, want to get into these fighters real quick? Let's do it. Good one for Polastri. I know most people really don't care about Polastri. I think she's a good prospect. I know her debut, she didn't look great. I still think she looked good in that debut again. Definitely, and let alone against Knutson. I think she's done the best against Knutson than anyone else, and that says a lot. When well, it's not really. Knutson's kind of fought cans, but still. Polastri gave her a fight. In my opinion, should have won that fight, but that's close. Either way, going toe-to-toe with Knutson, who looks like a future fucking top 10 fighter. No shock that she's gonna easily dominate Cory McKenna, who's not even a top 25 fighter. So, on short notice, no less. So, yeah, Polastri's good. Her striking's decent. Her fucking clinch game's really good. Her cardio's decent. She's a pretty well-rounded fighter, and at 26 years old, she's just getting better. 13-4. Like, I'll put my bias aside for a second, because she is one of my favorite female fighters. If you honestly ask me if I think she can be a top 15 fighter, not really. I think she's in the same tier of Denise Gomes, where she's good. I think she's right there. She's top 20. But do I think she can be top 15? I don't know. I don't know yet. I'm saying no, but I think she has the potential to be. Do I think she will be? That's yet to be seen, so we'll see. I'm not gonna say yes yet, but we'll see. Hell, her only 2 losses in the last few years have been to Jasmine and Knutson, 2 very, very good fighters. So she only is losing to good fighters. Guess that's something to go off of. Either way, good win for Polastri. Good first official win in UFC, and short notice don't matter. She looked good. Like, she didn't really look like it was a short notice fight for her. 2 weeks notice. Looked good. And then for Cory McKenna, I think I kind of said in my breakdown, she's just not good. She's not really good. I get she's young, I'll give her a break, but you gotta get better after a while, and now 6 fights into the UFC at 25 years old, has she got better? I don't think so. And she's still pretty mid. Like, do I think she could beat some of the worst fighters on the roster? Yes, I think she could beat a fucking Shana Banan. But the second she fights anyone with any talent, I think she has really no chance. Her striking is shit. Her grappling ain't great. Her cardio ain't great. Like, she's not really a good fighter. And, like, again, the young excuse only works for so long. At this point, you're 25 years old. You've been in the UFC for fucking 4 years now. When are you going to get better? When are you gonna get, like, either you're not that good, or you're not that good. So, I don't know. Maybe she'll fucking show something in her next fight. She kind of has to, because if she doesn't, she's probably gonna get cut. But, yeah, besides that, she's probably pissed Polyana Viana pulled out now, because that was an easy win. Is I guess the last thing I can really say, so. Get better. Only thing left to say now is, who should I fight next? For Polastri, she's not gonna shoot up the rankings, obviously, because it's fucking Cory McKenna, but you can give her a decent fight, especially since she did take Knutson to her limit. So, I think a decent fight is warranted. I saw someone say Shana Banan. No, I think that's like a fucking step backwards. So, but I think someone like, whenever Cheyenne Velizmas comes back, Montserrat Ruiz, I don't mind Diana Belbita if she's even still in the UFC, I don't know. And if you want to give her someone a little higher, Dudakova's coming off a loss, but they probably want to get her back in the win column. Murata's coming off 2 losses. Fucking my McCann's a joke, Mizuki, but now I think you're getting a little too high. So I'd look more towards this area, getting her just another nice win to catapult her into that tier. So, like I said, I would say Velizmas, Belbita, or Ruiz. Any of those 3 I think is a good next fight for Polastri, and a fight she should win. So, I guess Belbita would be the best one. If she's, again, I'm not even sure if she's still in the UFC. She might have got cut, I'm not even joking, but I know she's probably going to return soon, and I know she's still under contract, so any of these 3 would probably be the best option. And then for McKenna, like, either you feed her to a young fighter or you give her a can, like Shana Banan. So, however UFC is viewing her at this point, that's how they view her. I don't know. Simple as that. Not really much else to say. Fine fight. No fucking fight of the night contender, but it wasn't terrible. Excuse me. And I guess the only thing left to say is, who should I fight next? I like Polastri versus, I guess, Diana Bobita, and I guess Cory McKenna versus Shauna Banan keeps coming up, so I guess her. I think Polastri Bobita would make some sense. Give Polastri another nice win, and McKenna, see what they do with her. Outside of that, good one for Polastri. Good to see her finally get her hand raised in UFC, and I'll see if she can continue the winning. After that, we had to our fourth fight of the night, a half an hour in. I told you this was going to be a long one. It was a good card, so it's going to be a long one. But I won't waste a lot of time on this fight, because this fight was dreadful. It was dreadful. As in our fourth fight of the night, in the heavyweight division, you don't see Tom Aspinall, so you know it was shit. As we have Junior Tafa versus Sharaf. Wow, this looked like two fat drunk dudes in a bar. Yeah, round one. They fought for like about a minute and a half before both gassing out. After they gassed out, it looked like one of the most pathetic things you ever see. Sharaf looked like he's about to fucking collapse like Dada 5000, and Junior Tafa, dude, how the fuck do you suck so bad? Like, I think Justin might be better than him. Dude, I think Justin Tafa has more cardio. So, yeah, pathetic fight between two pathetic fighters. And that was round one. Round two begins, they're already dead tired. Eventually, Tafa just breaks Sharaf. He hurts him so bad, Sharaf doesn't even try and defend anymore, he just runs away. And eventually, after way too long, the ref finally steps in and stops Tafa from killing this fucking dude, as he gets the win. Second round knockout in a pathetic fight. Ugh. God, like, it was so bad it was good, almost. It was laughable. So, terrible. Not simple, just terrible. But that's what you expect for a low heavyweight. There's one good heavyweight on the roster. Tom Aspinall. Everyone else is either old, shitty, or both. So, about all I really gotta say there. To talk about each fighter real quick, I'll start with Junior Tafa. This dude's fucking bad. Like, he's really bad. I hope he moves down to light heavyweight in the next fight. He needs to, because he's not built for heavyweight. He's really skinny. I think maybe a cut to light heavyweight would be good for him. I don't know. I doubt it, because I don't know how much good that's really gonna do. But it's worth a fucking try, because that heavyweight dude, he is shit. Like, he is awful. He literally might be the worst Tafa brother. And the only competition is Justin Tafa, who is also a shit. So, yeah. Move down to light heavyweight. He said he wanted to, so let's see him finally move down to light heavyweight, and maybe they'll start something for him. I doubt it, but I guess I only went one way to find out. And then for Sharaf, yeah, this dude's trash. I get respect for stepping in on 4 days' notice, but dude, he literally had cardio for 2 minutes tops. Like, after he gassed out, all he tried to do was cuddle Tafa. So, man, he's terrible. Maybe on a full camp he'll look better, but I doubt it. So, give him one more fight, see how he does. Outside of that, respect for stepping on short notice, but yeah, you suck. Besides that, guess the only thing left to say is, who should they fight next? For Junior Tafa, if he does move down to light heavyweight, which again, he should, give him like the shittiest light heavyweight on the roster, which if he moves down, it's probably him. But who is the shittiest light heavyweight on the roster? Ian Kuchila, but nah, that's too tough. They cut OSP finally. Who's the shittiest light heavyweight? Did Tanner Bother still on the roster? I think they cut him. Tyson Pereira retired. God damn. Ivan Ursulin. There you go. That's a perfect fight for Junior Tafa. There you go. Damn it. I can't believe they cut Anton. That would have been a perfect fight. But no, yeah, I think fucking Ivan Ursulin, that dude looked like a pathetic joke against fucking what's-his-face, Kutilaba. If Junior Tafa wants to move down, there's your fight. Junior Tafa, Ivan Ursulin. If he wants to move down to light heavyweight, that's the fight. The worst light heavyweight on the roster versus one of the worst heavyweights on the roster. Why not? Yeah, besides that, not very much else to say about this sloppy bar fight. It was terrible. These two are terrible, and yeah, don't really got anything else to say. Who should they fight next, I guess? Junior Tafa versus Ivan Ursulin. Ivan's the shittiest light heavyweight I could find, so makes sense. Sean, I don't care. Terrible fight. To the extent that it was almost good, and yeah, don't really got much else to say. The low-level heavyweight, amazing. After that, we had to our 5th fight of the night in the welterweight division, a fight that should have been on the main card, and it was better than 2 fights on the main card, maybe 3. And then our 5th fight of the night, we had a, not a great fight, but a domination more than anything, as we had Themba Gorimbo versus Niko Price. Yeah, the long story short of this fight, Themba kind of just dominated him. Like for 15 minutes, Themba just ragdolled. Well, not even ragdolled, but just smothered Niko. Like even on the few times they were striking in round 1 and 3, they really didn't strike much in round 2. But the little striking they did do, Themba was landing the better shots. I thought he might have dropped. He was gonna drop Niko for a second because we know Niko's chin's kind of fucking dust at this point. But it didn't happen. He eventually just got to the ground and kept him on the ground. Every time he got him down, he pretty much kept him there. Niko had a few get-ups, I think, but didn't really amount to much. And eventually, after 15 minutes, Themba won a clear 30-27 across the board. So again, kind of like the Cody Haddon fight, none of the rounds were really that close. So it's kind of just a Themba domination, which I'm impressed. I'm impressed. If you remember my breakdown, I said Themba should not be such a big favorite. I think he was even like minus 280 in that breakdown. He looked all of that minus 280, minus 310, and more. So respect to Themba, man. He looked great in the hardest fight of his career so far. Can't look much better than 30-27ing a veteran like Niko. Pretty easily. Didn't take a lot of damage, just put him down. Just kept putting him down, so respect. About really all I can say. Domination from Themba Gorimbo. So, yeah. Not very much more I can add to the fight overall when it was just a pure 30-27 domination. So, guess unless I'm going to bring something up about the fight, let's get into the fighters. We'll begin with Themba, since he looked really good. Gorimbo in the I saw I was doing a fucking breakdown for a second. Well, Gorimbo in the UFC is now 4-1 on a 4-fight winning streak, which is insane. But the dudes look good. 3 wins now this year. Definitely a contender for Fighter of the Year, or at least like unranked Fighter of the Year. 3 wins against Pete, Ramiz, and Niko. Like, the Ramiz one's forgettable, but Pete Rodriguez was super insane. The Niko Price one, that was impressive. He's good. He's a legit prospect. Like, even at 33 years old, this dude's a legit prospect. I think he's on he's in the category with your Brian Battle, Carlos Prates, etc. At this point, he's a legit good prospect. So, do I think he had the ceiling of Battle, Prates, etc.? No, but I think he could be. I think he could be a top 20 dude in a division at this point. I think he's on the getting close to the level of Chaos Williams, Carlston Harris, Max Griffin, etc. So, he's good. He's good. His striking's getting better. His grappling's really good. His cardio's decent. Like after his debut against Fletcher, where he looks like a different fighter from the Fletcher fight to now, and that was only a year and a half. So respect to Themba, man. He bounced back from that L, rattled off 4 in a row, 3 this year, and is now really put himself into like prospect contention. So I'd say one more good win, he could easily be in a top 15 fight. So let's see how far this guy can really go. And then for Niko, it's Niko. He's gonna win a few. He's gonna win 1, lose 2. Blah 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 blah. It sucks to see Niko lose always, but it's Niko. Like I said, nothing we haven't seen before. At this point, he's 35 years old. He's super washed. He's super old. What do you expect? I thought he would look a little better in this fight, but he didn't. Definitely not as good as the Morono performance, but it's good to see him fight twice in a year for the first time since 2021. And let's see if he can stay active. Like, it sucks to lose, but if he can stay active, that'd be the most ideal thing. So, 35 years old, he doesn't have many fights left in him, I'm guessing. Let's get the most out of Niko Price as we can. Just book him in fun fights at this point. Book him against Tim Means, Euros Medic, Jeremiah Wells, against fun strikers who are gonna fight him. So, it's that simple. Put him in just fun fights. No one wants to see him against fucking these wrestlers who are gonna beat him. The dude's a fun fighter at heart, and that's all you want to see Niko Price do. Throw down and either get knocked out or, well, at this point, probably get knocked out. So, yeah. Not very much more I can say about Niko. Sucks to see him lose, but it happens. I guess the only thing left to say now is, who should they fight next? For Themba, again, yeah, I think he deserves a pretty big fight now. Like, he's now entered the contention of, like, the higher echelon dudes. So, who should he fight? Like, Harris or the Leech should be fine. I don't hate either of these fight. Wells, Gunner doesn't fight. Jake Matthews, that's a weird fight. Battle. Like, Chaos, now I think we're getting too high. But I think either the Leech or Carlston Harris would be a good fight for Themba. I like that Leech fight. I think that'd be good for him. Fight against another really good veteran, an older veteran, but a guy in the Leech who now we've seen him knock the rust off against Protest. Now we're gonna see a better Leech, or Carlston Harris, who's really good. So let's see if Harris or the Leech. I think both those fights would be fun. So, and if Themba could win that, then he can almost be in the top 15. So let's see it. And then for Niko, like I said, put him in fun fights against Santiago and fucking, I don't know, who the fuck else. Matt Brown retired, so we're fucked there. But like Tim Mean, Santiago Ponzinibbio, like people like that. Like, not Danny Barlow. So, just give him fun fights. About that simple, just give him fun fights. That's all we want to see Niko Price do. So, yeah. Not very much else I could say. Great performance by Themba Gorimbo, just pure domination. And I guess the only thing left to say is, who should they fight next? I like Themba Gorimbo versus, I guess the Leech would be fun. And Niko versus Ponzi or Tim Means would be fine. So, yeah, both work for me. Themba and the Leech I think can make some sense. Again, a win there for Themba would really boost him into the higher echelon. So, let's do it. Or again, Carlston Harris works also. Either one is good. Let's do it. Great performance by Themba Gorimbo. Let's see how far this guy can really go at 33 years old. After that, we go to our co-main of the prelims. The first fight I got wrong, and the first underdog that won on the card. I'm not going to say a lot here because it was a pretty quick fight. As in our 6th fight of the night. Again, our first upset of the night as we head to the featherweight division for a fight between Pat Sabatini versus Jonathan Pearce. Yeah, not what I expected to happen here. Kind of close to the opposite of what I expected to happen, but I was wrong. Long story short, they were on the feet for about maybe 30 seconds before Pat shot in and took JSP down pretty easily. And when that happened, the fight was kind of just all Sabatini. He just fucking ran through him. Eventually got on his back, and late into the first, only about a minute left, he locked in a standing rear naked choke, and Pearce tapped out. Quick 4 minute win for Pat Sabatini. There you go. Yeah, good. Not the underdog I expect to win on this card. The one of only 2 underdogs to win on the card. And yeah, did not expect it to be Sabatini, let alone in this fashion, but he pulled off the upset and looked good. So good for him, man. Yeah, I thought Pearce would just be the better fighter in both areas. On the feet, I thought he was a better striker, but we didn't get to see that proven. And on the ground, he got fucking ragdolled. So I guess I was blatantly wrong about this fight. So I'll hold my L here. One of my only 3 L's on the night, and yeah, it happens. Good upset win for Sabatini, and not really all I can really say. So unless we're going to add something to a 4-minute fight, let's talk about the fighters. And I think it's going to be the first fight I actually talk about the loser first, because what the fuck happened to JSP? Like, went from 5-1 to 5-4 in the span of a year. So, like, now, I guess the main question is, was his winning streak, like, just heavily padded with cans? It seems like it. Like, Kai Kamaka's really good, but then Omar Morales' ass, C-Rod's ass, Makwan's old, Darren Elkins is super old. So, it just seemed like his record was heavily padded against, like, bad fighters. And in hindsight, if he would have had that Bryce Mitchell fight, he probably would have lost. To be honest, with how he did here and Pat Sabatini, he probably would have lost to a better version of Sabatini and Mitchell. So, yeah, I'm not sure what happened to JSP, man. He's not that old. He's only 32. He has a good skill set. He's an okay striker. He has a really good ground game. But his last 3 fights, Burrito, Onama, and Sabatini, it's not even bad people to lose to, but the way he lost to Burrito is pretty embarrassing. Onama, great fight, nothing to complain about there. But then getting ragdolled and ran through by Pat Sabatini? That's not very good, man. And now that's 3 in a row. I think he's probably gonna get cut. I would cut him. Fucking 32 years old. Like, he's not old, but 3 L's in a row. Now 5-4. Not the most exciting fighter. His best win is Kai Kamaka. Sorry, JSP, but you choked an easy win here, and now you're probably gonna have to go fucking fight in PFL. You'll probably do good because PFL is just full of tomato cans and UFC rejects. So maybe you can go win the fucking UFC reject title or whatever the fuck the PFL title is called. So yeah, it sucks. And I definitely did not think I would ever say Johnson Pearce should be cut, but it just seems like it is time, man. He looked pretty bad here, and that's 3 in a row. Damn, hit the road. And then for Pat Sabatini, respect, looked great. Best he's looked since Luke Almeida a year ago. So that he looked like prime Pat Sabatini, the guy who was on a 4 fight winning streak going into the Damon Jackson fight as a giant favorite. So he really looked like Pat Sabatini again. Still don't know if he can strike, I doubt it, but overall he looked good. And at 33 years old, if he can keep that form up, maybe he can do something in this division. He's still in that echelon of Nate, Ige, Billy Q, etc., where he's not like close to the rankings, but he's like 2 wins away from them. So we'll see what he can do, if he can string this into another nice win, and if he can, then you can really talk about him back in ranking contention. So let's see if he can string another win together. Besides that, Can't think of anything else to say besides who should they fight next? For Sabatini, again, a really nice win here. Probably deserves a really nice opponent. So, who would that be? Let's see. Where the fuck is he? 32. Maybe Naimov. Like, I think no, none of these guys. Maybe Naimov. But Naimov's a fucking joke. Kyle Nelson, maybe? Yeah, I don't hate that Kyle Nelson fight. That could be intriguing. Outside of that, yeah, I don't see much. I guess Kyle Nelson. Cause I'm not really sure who else you could have him fight. Naimov's the only other option, but Naimov shouldn't even be here because he has such a fraudulent winning streak. So, yeah, I'd say probably Kyle Nelson would be the fight. So, Pat Sabatini, Kyle Nelson, sounds fine to me. And then for JSP, like I said, see you in Bellator, brother. Whatever UFC rejects over there or whatever cans over there, go get that win. So, yeah, not very much else to say. Good win for Sabatini. Who should they fight next? I like Sabatini versus Kyle Nelson. I think that sounds like a fine fight. And yeah, outside of that, first and only 2 underdogs on the night to win. Good performance by Pat Sabatini, man. Probably should have got a bonus, to be honest, but whatever. Good win nonetheless. And for our featured prelim, definitely the highlight of the prelims, just a beautiful debut, like a perfect debut performance, if anything. As in our featured prelim, going back to the flyweight division for another just great fucking fight. As we had in our featured prelim, Ramazan, Temirov, I think Temirov versus CJ Vergara. Well, you can't have a much better debut than this. Man, there was 4 debuting fighters on the card, and the only other one to win was Haddon, and I think Timirov's performance blows his out the water, and that says a lot, because Haddon looked great, Ramazan looked better. Long story short of this fight, Ramazan just fought like a maniac. He ran CJ down till he finally clipped his chin. When he did, he just went for the kill, dropped him I think 3 times before the ref finally stopped it, and that was that. Only took about 3 minutes for him to get CJ out there, which impressive, and in a couple assets of the game, just impressive. To make your debut at flyweight and get a first round knockout, a brutal first round knockout against CJ Vergara, impressive. So, can't have a much better debut than that. And again, I think he would probably, outside of the main event, he'd probably be the star of the card. So, this guy's good. I made a tweet before the fight. Let's see if this guy's legit or if this guy's any good. He's very good, so respect to Ramazan, man. You to run through CJ Vergara like nothing is impressive. Very, very fucking impressive. So, what a debut! What a featured prelim! Just fucking great. I guess not very much else to say about the fight. Beautiful finish. Guess let's talk about the fighters, and of course we gotta start with Ramazan. Again, what a debut. To run through CJ Vergara like he was nothing is really impressive. Like, Vergara's a really tough dog, and Ramazan fucking smashed him like he was nothing, so great performance by Ramazan, and I'm super excited to see this dude fight again. 27 years old, and 1 fight into his career, he already put himself into the higher echelon of prospects in the division, which says a lot when flyweight has a lot of prospects right now. We talked about Clayton Carpenter earlier, and I think there's a few others, and Ramazan put himself right close to the top of that list, one after one fight. This dude's good. Hits like a truck. fucking, we didn't get to see much else. We didn't see cardio or ground game, but if we get to see that in the next fight, cool. He has 1 submission and 6 decisions, so he can go distant. He can't really fight on the ground, but don't need to when you knock your opponent there. So yeah, great fucking debut by Ramazan, and yeah, he was not Zulgas Numagulov. Oh no, what was the fucking other Uzbekistan guy that Ode Osborne beat? I brought him in the breakdown, I don't remember. Some fucking Zaruk Adeshev, there you go. Yeah, he's 1,000 times better than him. So great fucking debut. And then CJ Vergara. I'm shocked he got ran through so easily. So, like, the only other guy to finish him is fucking Tatsuro Taira, and no one's ever knocked him out. So, impressive. Like, impressive by Ramazan. And for CJ, you could cut him. I wouldn't be shocked if you do. I give him one more fight, since it's kind of the same thing as Dan Argueta. You gave him 2 of the best prospects in the division back to back. Give him one more fight. Let's see what happens. He finally made weight for a fight he lost, so I guess that's an improvement. Outside of that, he got ran through, which is a little shocking. So, yeah, well, I say give him one more fight. Do I think he gets cut? Maybe. Hard to tell. Either way, let's see what happens. Besides that, the only thing left I could think to say is who should they fight next? For Ramazan, yeah, I think you throw him in there right away with someone pretty decent. Like, not ranked, of course. He's not that random Kai dude no one's ever heard of. But you give him something decent. You don't, like, not. I think he should, like, not the people I were talking about with Carpenter, but more the people in, like, this area. Who? I don't know. Philho, maybe. Or, yeah, actually, that. I think someone said of that. I like that fight. That or Philho would be a good fight. Or Al Nascimento, if that dude ever fucking fights again, you know. That's unlikely, though. So, yeah, I'd say either that Maxim or Rafael Philho would be the best option for him. Like, Dvorak, what's the point? They're not gonna have him fight any of these guys. So, yeah, I would say Philho or that would make sense. I think either one of those fights are pretty good. So, let's see if how Ramazan would do against higher competition. Do I think he'll get a fight like that? Probably not. He'll probably get like a fucking Ode Osborne or some bum like that. But whatever. You know, it's the UFC. You have to have 18 build-up fights before getting a legit fight. By that time, you're fucking 50. So, whatever. And then for CJ Vergara, don't feed the same thing about Argueta. Don't have him fight another top prospect. Give him an easier fight. Well, I was gonna say give him Ode Osborne, but he already lost him. So give him like fucking Daniel Santos or what? Yeah, Felipe dos Santos, Edgar Shira, something like that. Let him have a little easier of a fight. So yeah. Besides that, can't really say much else. Great performance by Ramazan, and who should he fight next? I like him versus either that Maxim or fucking Rafael Philho. Either one I think would make some sense. I think both are good fights, and I would beat him to beat that. I don't know if he beats Philho. That'd be a very interesting matchup. Only one way to find out who wins that though. Let's see it. And for CJ, either he gets cut, or I say you give him an easier fight, like a fucking Edgar Shirez. So, yeah. Not very much else to say. Great debut by Ramazan. And yeah, this dude's good. Excited to see him fight again. About all I can say. Finally, an hour in, that was the prelims. Great prelims. Like, the worst fight was Tafa, and that was so laughably bad, it was almost good, so the rest was good. These two were really good. This was fine. This was fine. This was fine. This was great. Great prelims. Like, one of the worst fight on it was a second round knockout between two fucking bums. I can't really complain. One of the best prelims of the year, probably, since the prelims are usually a wasteland of garbage. Look at next week's card. But besides that, I guess let's stop wasting time and let's get in the main card. 5 more fights. Thank God Josh Friend missed weight at this point. And let's just get into this shit. Great prelims. Let's see if the main card followed suit. It didn't. But we begin the main card with a fight that was pretty good. Probably the second best fight of the main card. As we begin the main card with a fight I predicted horribly wrong. No shocker. As we have in the welterweight division, Daniel Rodriguez versus Alex Morono. Yes, this fight was really good. Too bad I could not predict it right in the slightest. In round 1, Morono looked really good. What the fuck is that? No. Well, a little late. What the fuck is the scorecard? Round 1, Morono looked great, easily taking the round, fighting at distance really well, just looking like a way better fighter. Then round 2 started. And D-Rod really woke up after that and really just started piecing up Morono. Like, he really just started getting his groove and getting his flow, which against D-Rod, which with D-Rod, you really never want to let him get in his groove, because for as old as he is, he still can strike. His power might not always still be there, but he can still strike. He's a very good striker, and we saw that in round 2 as he made it 1-1 going into the 3rd. And then in round 3, kind of like round 2, D-Rod kind of just picked apart Morono. Like, after round 1, Morono just looked like he fell asleep. He just threw the same 3 punches for fucking 10 minutes, so yeah. And like, we know these guys ain't known for cardio, but like, Morono looked like he might have gassed after round 1. So, and D-Rod didn't look that gassed till like the 3rd. So, I don't know. Really weird fight. But overall, 2 judges got it right. D-Rod clearly won the last 2 rounds, and Sabatini's a fucking moron. Great. Yeah, pretty simple fight to score. Like, I really don't see anyone saying Morono won, and I picked Morono as an underdog. He did not win that fight. He looked terrible after round 1, and he lost. So, yeah, not thrilled about getting my big underdog pick of the night wrong, but when a dude barely fights after round 1 and just throws the same 3 punches, what do you think's gonna happen? Not very much else I can say about the fight. Great fight, by the way. Like, if the main event wasn't so good, this easily would have been fight of the night, but the main event was amazing, so yeah. But still a great fight, and yeah, can't really say much else. Fun old dude fight. Besides that, let's talk about these fighters. We'll begin with D-Rod. Hey, he saved his career. Got a nice win. His first win since 2022. Most people would say since 2021. But yeah, he saved his career. Good for him after that Kelvin Gastelum bullshit. He deserved a win here, and I'm happy he got it to an extent. So I still think he's very old and very washed, but got the win here against a decent fighter like Morono. That's 37 years old. He can still go. He can still strike. He can't grapple. And his cardio ain't great. And I swear he kind of got flabby. But outside of that, to get his first win in 2 years, another one by split, but this ain't nearly as controversial as the Leech fight. Good win for D-Rod, man. Good for him. In a way, it would have sucked to see him get cut, but at the same time, if he did, I think he's perfect for BKFC or George Masvidal's promotion, so we don't need to talk about that till a different date. So, good for D-Rod. And then for Morono, if I had to describe his performance in one word, it'd be disappointing. You should have looked, and I could say that for both his last 2 fights. I think he's lost 2 fights he should have won in a row. You should have not lost to Niko Price. You should have not lost to 37-year-old 3-fight kid Daniel Rodriguez. But he did. So now his fucking seat in the UFC is really starting to get warm, and if he doesn't show up in his next fight, he can easily get cut. He's 34 years old. He's never been the most exciting fighter. Like, he's a fine striker, but his chin sucks, his cardio sucks, and he's now choked on paper, in my opinion, with 2 easy wins. So let's see if he can get back on the horse in the next fight and actually show up. But after these 2 fights, It's gonna be hard for me to pick him, man. So let's see if Moreno can get back on track, but I have my doubts. Besides that, the only thing left I can think to say is who should they fight next? For D-Rod, you have two options. If you give him a fun fight, or you give him a legit fight. I lean towards fun fight. Like, him and Niko Price would be badass, but why would he fight Niko Price when he just lost? If Niko Price would have won today, I think that would have been a badass fight, but now, not so much. Like, you could have D-Rod fight so many fucking people. So, like, Ponzi, I'm down to seeing that Ponzi fight get rebooked. I think that'd be pretty fun. And I think, like, going to this hot, like, maybe Jake Matthews, but do you really want to see him fight Jake Matthews? No. I think Ponzi would be the most fun. Like, two old dudes striking. Like, Ponzi's beyond washed, D-Rod's beyond washed. Outside of that, like, Tim Means, but I think that's kind of yeah, so I guess because I know that fight was meant to happen a minute ago, so yeah, I guess let's rebook him and Ponzi. I think that'd be a really fun fight. They're both pretty old, and let's see it. I think it'd be a fun fight. So, Ponzi and D-Rod, I'm down to see that rebooked. Let's do it. And then for Moreno, I don't know. Like, he's in such a weird spot now. 2 in a row that he should have won. They might feed him to a young dude. Because, like, I could totally see him getting fed to Danny Barlow or, like, the Bond Fiend brother. Some bullshit like that, so. And if that happens, he kind of deserves it for how fucking shitty he's looked in these last 2 fights, so. If that happens, it happens. Should have looked better, man. So, whatever happens with Moreno happens. He just gonna be hard to pick him to win next time out. Besides that, really good fight. 2 old dudes going to war, can't get much better than that. And who should I fight next? I like D-Rod versus Ponzi. Get that rebooked to be a banger fight. You put that on any fucking fight night, main card opener, it's gonna be a banger. And Moreno, you can fight a fucking 100 people, young, old, whatever UFC's feeling on doing with him, they'll do it. So, yeah. Not very much else to say. Good one for D-Rod. Happy for D-Rod. And, yeah, he saved his job and shut me up because I made a bad underdog pick. Thanks, D-Rod. Good fight to open main card. Now we get to our 2 bad fights of the night, and they're back-to-back, so I'm not going to waste a lot of time on them, so let's get into it. Let's get into our first terrible fight of the night. Not going to waste a lot of time here, as we have in our second fight of the main card, in the lightweight division. Grant Dawson versus Rafa García. It was a Grant Dawson fight. He took him down in round 1, cuddled him a little bit. He took him down in round 2, cuddled him a little bit, got the finish. Bada boom, bada bang, done. Yet Grant's still boring, and I still don't think he's very good. Rafa is not very good. We've known that for a while now. And yeah, the highlight of this fight was Grant's funny-ass post-fight interview. So if you want to see that, look it up. Aside of that, do I care who Grant Dawson fights next? No. Do I care who Rafa García fights next? No. Lame fight as predicted. And yeah, Grant Dawson just gonna take people down. About all he knows how to do. That's simple. Next. And now for our second of 2 bad fights of the night, we head to a welterweight for a fight that should have been good, should have ended in a finish, but for some reason they just wanted to fucking hug for 15 minutes. As in our third fight of the main card in the welterweight division, we had a fucking snooze fest between Chidi and Njokuani versus Jared Gooden. Yeah, again, snooze fest. For 15 minutes, they just hugged. Like, is that they literally just hugged for 15 boring minutes. Chidi landed a couple knees and elbows in the clinch, and that's about fucking it. Boring as fuck. Waste of time. Disappointing performance by Chidi. Do better. So, yeah, not really much else I could say. Terrible fight. Talk about each fight real quick. Chidi, I expected better from you, and apparently you moving down to welterweight made you a boring fighter. Go back up to middleweight then, because you're boring as fuck at welterweight, and yeah, you don't deserve a top 15 dude, because no one wants to be hugged by you for 15 more minutes. So, yeah. Go back to middleweight if you're going to be boring at welterweight. Gooden, you're still shit. You should get cut again. And how do you always miss weight? How? So now 2-5 in the UFC, beautiful record. Cut his bum ass again. Simple as that. Do I care who they fight next? No. Am I gonna take a nap when they fight again? Yes. And yeah, terrible fight. Expected better from Chidi. Should have got a knockout against Gooden, but apparently he wanted to be friendly today and just cuddle him. So that's what he did. Boring, shitty fight, and pitiful performance by Chidi. Now we get back to real fights, and then our co-main event of the evening. We finally got to see this fight happen, and it was okay. And then our co-main event of the evening in the middleweight division, we had Yong Park versus Brad Tavares. Like I said, good that we finally got to see this fight happen, and do I take back what I said about it being a co-main for no reason? Should it have been the co-main? No. But was it a good fight? Yeah, it was decent. The first 10 minutes were good, and I guess it kind of overdid my expectations, so fine fight. So, yeah, I guess it as co-main was not terrible. It could have been worse. So, yeah. Not bad. Talk about the fight. They had a pretty simple fight to score, but somehow it was a split decision because stupid fucking judges. Round 1, Tavares easily took it. He dropped Park really early in the round with a beautiful, I think it was a 1-2 as Park was throwing a kick, so Tavares bagged that round because of the knockdown. Then round 2, Park really just looked good on the feet, really using his jab well to just kind of beat Tavares pretty easily in that round, to tie the fight 1-1 going into the third. And then the third round, Park just laid on Tavares for 5 minutes. Like, yeah, takedown, maybe a minute, maybe a little over a minute in, and he just laid on him for about 5 minutes on way to a win. So, boring but smart. I wish he would have striked. He looked better in round 2. So he did hurt Tavares a little bit before he went for the takedown. So he might have been able to fucking win on the feet, but he went for the boring route, the cuddle route, and either way, I got my pick right and I got him the win. So at least they did fight for 10 minutes before then. I'll give him a little bit of a break, but still boring. Either way, Park clearly won the last 2 rounds. 2 judges agreed. Camacho's a fucking dipshit. And, yeah, Park takes home a quick, easy W. And get back on track. And, yeah, nice co-main W. Again, not a great fight, but I've seen worse. The first 10 minutes were good. The last 5 minutes you could skip. So, yeah. Not very much else I can add. Fine fight. Fine co-main. I guess now let's get into the fighters. I'll start with Park. He looked fine. Like, definitely the Park that was on that 4-fight winning streak kind of gone now. He's definitely not as dominant as he was, but he's still decent. Like, his striking is still fine. His ground game's fine. Like, he's not that guy who looked like he could have been a top 15 guy. Muniz definitely took that out of him, but aside that, he still looks like a decent fighter. He can still beat probably a lot of fighters, and yeah, got a nice one here against a veteran to get back on track. His first win in over a year. His return fight, nice win for the Turtle. So he won on the feet and the ground. Good win. And then talk about the veteran Brad Tavares, Mr. Middleweight, as he now has the most fights and fight time at middleweight, passing Michael Bisping. Yeah, he's Brad Tavares. He's really old, but he can still fight to an extent, so. Yeah, he's not going to retire yet. They're not going to cut him yet. Another loss, and then you can make that debate, but right now he's just probably going to fucking take a little bit of time off, probably get back in there early next year, and we'll see what happens, so. Yeah, Tavares is a veteran, an OG of the division, and now I guess the middleweight king when it comes to fights and fight time, so good for him. Not very much else to say. He didn't look terrible in this fight, got the only knockdown of the fight, but that's about it. Kind of just lost the last 10 minutes of the fight, which can't really do. So, yeah. Besides that, I guess the only thing left to say is who should they fight next? For Park, I don't know if he should be ranked number 22nd in the middleweight division, but I think he deserves probably a pretty decent fight. Like no one's this low. I saw some say Petrosky. Like, no. Like, why the fuck would he fight bum-ass Petrosky? But I think someone like Rodolfo Vieira would be a fun fight. Like, yeah, that'd be actually a really fun fight. Kevin Holland would be a fucking funny fight, but that's not gonna happen. Pfeiffer, nah. Mooney, nah. Yeah, I guess Rodolfo Vieira would be a really good fight. Park would have the big striking advantage, but on the ground, it would be a really interesting grappling match. So, yeah, Rodolfo Vieira, Jung Park, got my vote. I think that'd be a really good fight. So, let's see. We didn't get to see Vieira versus Bo Nickel. So let's see Vieira versus Jung Park. And then for Brad Tavares, he's gonna go fight either a prospect or an old dude. He could fight really anyone. I could see him getting fed to COD. You got fucking Abdul, Olashaychek, a bunch of fucking dudes. So, whoever the UFC gives him, he'll probably say yes, and we'll see what happens. So, yeah. Not very much else to say. Fine co-main event of the evening. The first 10 minutes were good, the last 5 were lame. And who should they fight next? I like Park versus Vieira. I think that'd be a really fun fight. And Tavares will fight whoever. So, yeah. Park and Vieira, book it. So, yeah. Not very much else to say. Fine co-main. Good win for Park. Always good to see the Iron Turtle get a win. And respect to Tavares for now the middleweight holder for 2 very big records. So, yeah. About really all I can say. And now time for our main event of the evening, a banger, one of the best fights of the year. No, a little shocker, but in that regard, I thought the fight would be good. I didn't think it'd be that good, and then big shocker on who won. As in our main event of the evening in the flyweight division, we had a fucking banger between. For the main event of UFC Vegas A98, Brandon Royval versus Tatsuro Taira. What a fight. Like, just a fucking banger. Like, the word instant classic keeps coming to mind. And I think that's a little bit strong of a word, but fuck, I don't think it's inaccurate. Like, this fight was fucking great. It was a fun fight. So, to break down the fight, it was a pretty easy fight to score if you are not Sal D'Amato. Yes, he fucked up 3 scorecards and tried to rob 3 fighters. Dude's a fucking dipshit. But, yeah, it's pretty easy how to score this fight. In round 1, Royval did better work. He landed better shots and kind of just, I don't want to say pick Taira apart, because that's more in round 3, but in round 1, he landed better shots and took the round. A little close, but I think more clear to Royval. Round 2, Taira got him down and held him down, clear 1-1. In round 3, the best round of the fight, Royval dominated Taira for a hot minute, hurting him badly, looking like he was going to finish him, but then out of nowhere, Taira almost fucking rear naked chokes him. Wasn't enough to give him that round, because Royval did almost finish him a few times, and he did beat him up pretty badly, but still one of the best rounds of a while, and just an insane round. But it was a Taira round, so that would mean 2-1. A Royval round, my bad. So that would mean a 2-1 Royval. Round 4, same as round 2. Taira got him down, held him down, and then round 5. Kind of like round 1, it was more of a striking match, and Royval was just the better striker. Close to the end, he almost submitted Taira. Taira went for a takedown. He did get put in a guillotine. He, of course, escaped it, but it was looking like he could have got submitted there. And I think the last thing of the fight was, I think Royval almost rear naked choked him. So, yeah, close round, a little bit close round 5, but also like round 1, I think is more pretty clear for Royval. So that'd mean 3-2 Royval, and 2 judges agreed. 1-3-5 Royval. Not really hard to score, and Brandon Royval gets the ginormous upset, taking Tatsuro Taira's O in the main event. Wow, amazing fight, like I said, and an interesting fight since round 1 and 5 were pretty much the same. Round 2 and 4 were the same, and round 3 was like the one outlier to an extent because it was such a beating, but Taira almost got a finish, so it was a really weird fight, but it was a great fight. It was a fantastic fight, and Royval got the job done. They tried to rob him, at least Saldamaro's dumbass, but they got it right, and Royval got the W. So, good for him, man. Good for him. Not very much else I can say about the fight. It was just a back and forth banger. So, just a banger. I guess the only thing left to say is let's talk about the fighter. Well, the second to last thing to say is let's talk about the fighters. And I want to start with Taira. The first thing I want to say is no, he did not get fraud checked. Don't even start saying that stupid shit. He went to war with the #1 ranked flyweight and almost beat him. He didn't beat him, but he almost did. And he took him to his limit, and this is a learning experience for Taira. So if he learns and gets better from this, he'll be a champion. He's only 24 years old. He's really good, and he was just not good enough to beat Royval right now. Give it a couple more years, Taira will be champion. He's really fucking good. That simple. And then for Royval, what a fucking run he's had in 2024. Going to Mexico, beating Moreno, going to the Apex, taking Taira's O. What a fucking year for Royval, man. He's looked great. He's looked great since that Pantoja fight, and now we really got to question what the fuck's next for him, so I'm intrigued. I'll talk about what I'm fucking thinking about in a second, so, but overall, great performance by Royval, man. Dude's really good. He does not gas out. His striking's good. His grappling's good. He's a dog, man. It's in his name for a reason. He's a dog. And, yeah, great fucking win for him. Not really much else I can say, besides, I guess, unless I'm forgetting something about this fight, which I don't think I am. Who should they fight next? Okay, this is where it gets weird. So, like I said earlier, I brought the fight up earlier, and by now you do know Pantoja is defending the belt against that fucking Akira, whatever the fuck his name is. Whoever the fuck he is, I don't know. Royval better pray Kai wins, because if he does, then obviously you do Kai and Royval. But if Pantoja wins, Royval's fucked, because what'd be the point of Royval fighting Pantoja again? He's not gonna beat him. So it comes down to this: if Pantoja beats Akira, then Royval probably has to fight Kai or Albazi or someone else, and he's kind of shit out of luck. If Ashkura wins, Akira, whatever the fuck, the not Kai Car-France, then you do Royval and Kaya Sukara for the belt. Get it? Good. So, yeah, pretty simple. Again, pretty simple if Kai wins. If Pantoja wins, yeah, Royval, you got fucked, buddy. But yeah, and no, you don't give Pantoja a rematch for the belt. Fuck him, he sucks. So Pantoja, let me get it right, Pantoja. So yeah, that's pretty simple for Royval. And then for Taira, you just let him get a bounce back fight. Like, you would have him fight Tim Elliott, the winner of Cop Silva, the winner of Asu and Nicolau. Like, you just give him a bounce back fight. He beats all of those guys. He beats it. The only guy he might not beat under him is fucking Steve Ursig, and that's a title fight in a few years, so we'll wait on that. But yeah, if Nicolau beats Asu somehow, the winner of Cop Silva, Tagir, Tim Elliott, Durden, whoever, just give him a nice bounce back fight and let him get back on track. So that's simple. So yeah, not really much I can say. Great main event, one of the best fights of the year. And who you say fight next? For Royval, it all comes down to who wins the Pantoja fight. If it's Pantoja, he's fucked. If it's Kai Akira, then he fights Kai Akira. So yeah. And then for Taira, give him an easy bounce back fight. Again, Nicolau, Elliott, whoever the fuck. Probably the winner of Cop Silva would make the most sense. So yeah, not very much else to say. Amazing main event. Great one for Royval. Taira's not a fraud, you fucking moron. I don't think anyone's saying that, but if they are, they're a moron. And what a main event, and a really good card. Finally, boom. That was the card. To go how I did on picks, I went 9 of 12, 3 perfect, 340. Should be 4 perfect. The only 3 I got wrong: Taira, Morono, and Pearce. Taira, he's gonna get better from this. Morono, disappointing, and Pearce just choked an easy win, man. The bonuses went to, obviously 5 of the night was Royval and Taira, and bonus bonuses went to Ramazan and Carpenter. I would have gave that bonus to Pat Sabatini instead of Carpenter, but you could go either way, I'm fine with it. Yeah, right, no one else deserved a bonus. I thought they were going to give one to Grant Dawson for no reason, thankfully they didn't. So yeah, fine bonuses, Ramazan and Taira. These 2 are no question. This could have went to Carpenter or Sabatini, either one is fine, I don't care. So, yeah. Not really much else to say. Oh, and the last thing I almost forgot, if you missed a card, what would I say you should go back and rewatch? I say everything outside of Dawson and Chidi, and I guess Tafa if you don't want to watch low-level garbage. Everything else I would watch. All of this was fine. Good. Really good. Watch the first 10 minutes. Banger. So yeah, I would say at most just skip Chidi, Dawson, and Tafa. Everything else I would rewatch happily because it was a really good card. So yeah, can't really complain or say much else. So for an Apex card to be considered pretty good, I'm pretty happy to get only 3 bad fights at most out of 12, to get a Fight of the Year contender in the main event, to get a great sheet of prelims with great prospects. I'm fucking happy. So yeah, maybe the best Apex card of the year so far. It's probably this, or if I remember, Perez and Nicolau was really good. And Jandaroba Lemos was really good too. So yeah, could be any of those 3. So yeah, really good card. And now we go into UFC Vegas 99 next week. Michelle Pereira, not Alex Pereira, versus Fluffy Hernandez. Awesome main event, awesome card. Kyler Phillips, Charles Johnson, Nicolau Nasu, which I talked about earlier. Fucking Darren Elkins is back. A bunch of bangers. Brady Houston, my boy. So yeah, should be a fun card next week. Another really good Apex card on paper. Let's see if it lives up to the hype. Now, this one didn't have hype, but it was really good. So, yeah. Yeah, very fun card, and I guess now we gotta look forward to the future. So, yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. You'll hear from me again Friday for a breakdown of UFC Vegas 99. And unless I'm forgetting to say something, which I don't believe I am, after an hour and a half, I better not be. So, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like, comment, subscribe. 100 subs goal by the end of 2024. And unless we're going to say something, as always, RX out. Good vibes only, and